What's up, everybody? It's the Spiritual Life Passing Through Miss Pat, and I am here with another video. And this video is going to be about spiritual reproval that the Most High gives us from time to time. Okay. Earlier last year, during the summer months, I had a tree that was out in the front that actually ended up crushing my new fence that I had just got installed. And it would look better than what it really was, but it was a bad storm or whatever, and I had to get it removed. And the guy that came and cut the tree, cut the stump and everything away, ended up telling me that the tree was diseased. And I was like, oh, wow, you know what I'm saying? So I had to call. He said, I want you to call the city and actually have them put in a report to have them cut the tree down altogether. And I was like, all right, no problem. Now, I have a few neighbors that don't particularly care for the fact that I live around here at all. And if y'all see anything about my personality, I couldn't give two shits about that. But when it comes down to my house, I keep it in a decent order. I actually, work at keeping it very nice. And when my mom lived here, it looked way different. And when my mom passed and left it to me, I revamped everything when I got here. So there's in the neighborhood where the 2/3 is real heavy, they don't like people like me, because some 2/3 really do like watching the neighborhood just die, dwindle away, and turn into nothing. And I'm not like that, and I live a certain type of way. So I was working on the house and things like that. So I've got neighbors that don't particularly care for me because I was working on my house. And when you work on your house and a person that don't work on their house, it makes their house look worse. So as you can see, I have people that's kind of weird on my block. And the lady across the street kept coming over with things to say about the fence being messed up. Oh, I know you mad about your fence. Now, this lady, I read her spirit long ago when I first came over here. She is like a toad in a body. And everything about her is like if you ever seen a toad eat, its tongue comes out and brings in flies and things like that. She's just like that. She's the type of person that her tongue, her mouth, and what she says out of it, she likes to, feast on unclean and nasty things. That's how she lives, okay? And as soon as I saw her, I'm like, this is a toad. It's a toad inside of a person just sitting, sitting in her, just spawning. Just that. I'm like, I can't stand this lady. So they don't really bother me because they know that I'm a different type of person. I'm not, for me to be a Virgo, most Virgos are not confrontational, but I'm a weird Virgo. I have an Aries ascendant and a Libra moon. So I'm a little different than most people. You know what I'm saying? And I was raised by a Scorpio. So my mom was very, very confrontational. So for me, if you say crazy stuff to me, I'm going to walk right up to you and say, excuse me, you can say that right here, so I can hear exactly what you need to say, and we can handle this another type way, and they know that's how I am, because when we first moved over here, we had people who wanted to twerk and everything and lay up on people's cars, and I'm like, most people were like, what is going on? Where's all these people coming from that don't even live around here, laying up on my properties, trying to sit on my car? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's up with this? So one particular time they did this at my house, and I came outside with a double barrel. What's going on? What? She got a whole gun. Da 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 da. Well, you're making me feel uncomfortable. I thought I would return the favor. Get the fuck off my car. You understand? They realized that they're like, oh, that's a different type of lady. She ain't playing no games. She came right outside with that thing. You know what I'm saying? So after that, nobody sat in front of my house. No one bothered to sit on my car. In fact, after, I think, 2020, 2021, nobody's been around here. They've been, since the ley line changed, everybody's been bothering all the rich white people downtown. So my neighborhood has been like a suburb over here. And nobody really bothers us anymore. But this particular lady across the street, she just kept bothering me about the situation. So when the tree actually hit the fence and the city came to get it, because I made a report and everything, and the city actually came very early in the morning, which never happens, because I had prayed about it. I said, Father, I know how these people feel about me around here. Please don't leave me for reproach. Please let the city come and get this tree immediately tomorrow, and don't let it sit there for about a week, because that's usually what happens. They go and handle rich folks' neighborhoods and leave the poor neighborhoods for the very last. Lo and behold, the next day shows up, y'all. And the city shows up at 5 o'clock in the morning to cut the tree, cut the thing off the tree and remove the tree off my fence. So this is before all these people even wake up. Okay, these people don't wake up till about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. So by the time anybody, whoever was getting ready to go to work, woke up, the tree was gone. And the guy told me, he's like, you know what, this tree is diseased and needs to cut down. So I was like, all right, no problem. This lady keeps on coming across the street, saying little things to me off and on or whatever. And I'm like, I really cannot stand this woman. And I know how people's negative thoughts can sometimes make things happen. And you know what I'm saying? I had a mom that could think a thing and you know what I'm saying, and stuff would happen. So I'm like, I'm fully aware of the power of thought. So this situation passes. Now, fast forward a couple of months, the city's going through his second lockdown. We all at home. We really can't go anywhere too much. And I'm reading my books of the remembrance, and I find out about the Eerkodeshiy, and I was like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? I put in this report to get this tree cut down, and I'm finding out that Eerkodeshiy are this and the angels, and I'm learning about them, and I'm teaching my grandbaby about them, and how everything is now changed for me since I've learned about these particular beings. And then I think, oh man, I'm getting ready to get this get this tree cut down. It's the equivalent of finding your best girlfriend or whatever, a new good girlfriend, and then she introduced you to your husband, and you find out that's one of your one night stands from back in the day. Lord, I'm like, I can't believe that I'm getting ready to get this tree cut down, and I felt so bad about it. I really felt terrible. And my daughter told me, she was like, Mama, I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at that tree, it reminds me of your mom when she was sick. And I was like, what are you saying? She's like, this tree looks like it's just tired, that she's over it. I'm sorry. I don't know why I get that off of her, but that's what I get off of that tree when I look at it. And lo and behold, when it came time to cut down the tree, they cut it, and in the stump part of it was this black. It was black and these strange bugs coming up out. I've never seen bugs like this. They were just so awful, and they just was just eating up eating up out of the wood that was left in the stump. It was the nastiest thing I'd ever seen. And when they came to de-stump the actual tree, I actually saw that it was so far down in the roots, it was just really bad. And I was like, wow. And the Most High showed me, he was like, your situation, he said, I used you to help get rid of a tree that was asking me to let it go. And I was like, well, why? You know what I'm saying? The tree wanted to die, and its limb fell on your fence. It could have fell anywhere, and it's true, it really could have, but it happened to fall on my fence. And he said, you want to know why it fell on your fence? Because you was going to call and get the tree removed. You gonna get the tree limb removed, but the person that told you, who cut the tree limb down, told you that something was wrong with the tree, and you would be the one to go ahead and get the tree completely removed, completely out of here, and put it down properly. And I was so upset about this, and I was like, I didn't understand, but he let me know how he can use you to fix a situation that he wants done. And he let me know, he said, this situation is just like this neighborhood. That lady across the street, and the way you feel about her and her attitude is the same way I feel about this world. And the tree is a representation of how bad the disease and the negativity and the evil is on this planet. Now, the tree itself standing represents the 2/3 and what I'm going to do to the people of the 2/3 of you all. Oh, I'm going to cut them down, definitely. They're going to get destroyed. But the stump represents how I'm going to redo everything on here. I got to clean out the old to bring in the new. He said what you can do instead of feeling sad and crying about it is have the city have the city plant a new tree in its space. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here on this earth. See, we don't realize the Eerkodeshiy have an issue with us. They, in the neighborhoods where the 2/3 are, where you see a lot of killing and a lot of ignorance going on and fighting and yelling and all kind of drug dealing and things like that, that's taking a toll on the trees. And I've noticed that in some of these neighborhoods, the city is going through cutting them because they are diseased. And they're diseased from deep down in the roots. And it's like, how is that even possible? And then it says, look what's going on in the neighborhood. And with my neighbor, she has been in this neighborhood for 70, almost 80 years. And her children are what's bringing the neighborhood down. But she allows this type of behavior. And it's not just her, it's quite a few of them around here that allow the behavior of unsavory things to go on. You got your nephews dealing drugs out of houses. You got all kind of crazy stuff going on, people shooting and things like that. These things are having an impact on our environment as a whole. And we don't realize this. And the Eerkodeshiy, like just like they were during the time of the flood, they are tired, y'all. They like, just let us die. I'm done. I can't take this no more. And I know how that feels. I've been in situations where I'm like, you know, I don't care what you do. Just go. I'm done. You can take all this shit. I don't want to be bothered. You understand? I've been in situations like that. So I can understand where they are as far as we're concerned. And our people don't seem to be getting any better. There's only a small group of us, y'all, that are waking up. The rest of them, I'm sorry to say, including family members, are going to perish on this planet. And I see it clearly. Do you know how many relatives I know went and ran and got that hokey pokey? And they act funny because I didn't? Do you know how many people, do you know what I'm saying, are just brainwashed? Anything that the Gentiles say to do, they run out and do without questioning anything. And I just sat back and I was like, wow, I would think that some of the people in the most worstest situations would question a situation way quicker than somebody who's benefiting from out of this nation. You understand? That's benefiting from the things that the Gentiles have. Okay? I question everything because I'm in a business of questioning everything. I also know how people lie about all kinds of stuff. Okay? You would be surprised at the things that when you read these cases of the things that like, what? You know what I'm saying? You would just be shocked. But for the things that you find out about very reputable companies and things like that nobody says anything to you about. But these people, our people, just don't have no problem walking into a dark room and people just go right on in. And they don't know if that's a cliff. They don't know if that's a place where you're going to end up getting incinerated or not. They just walk in blindly. And you have to understand, being inside this walk, that you all have been picked and tapped on the shoulder for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, no more than I know what my reason is, that I was tapped on the shoulder out of everybody in my family. You understand what I'm saying? That the weirdest one, the one that's the most gung-ho about all kinds of crazy things. You understand what I'm saying? I know that when it comes down to situations like this, I need to think, and we don't. You understand? And these neighborhoods and things like that are a reflection of this. Now, what's happening is that since the ley lines have changed, I've noticed that even the Eerkodeshiy in the rich folks' neighborhoods, the trees are looking raggedy and strange. And even my daughter was like, they look glim and gloom. She said, this is not how they side of town used to look. So we're paying attention to nature. And a lot of you all have not paid attention to nature in the last few years before all of this happened. I could have told you a plague was on the way. You want to know why? Because a lot of the trees had disease in the year 2012. A lot of the trees ended up with, if you notice, there were leaves. And the leaves had black dots on it. All of them. And you would just see them all over the place. And I took pictures of this. And I'm sitting up here like, I know for a fact what happens to the trees happens to us. Now, this is just a rule of thumb. And that was a rule of thumb that was taught to me by very, very spiritual people. That what happens to the trees happens to us. So we need to pay attention to them when things happen. In 2012, I saw a lot of trees start to get this fungus on the leaves. And I'm like, what is that? And somebody told me, don't touch it. When you see it in the yard, just take the leaves and end up burning the leaves. Okay? This went on all the way from 2012 all the way up to the year 2020. Okay? Now, 2021 is the year where the leaves, actually, whatever was going on with the actual trees, worked its way through the tree system and the leaves came back normal. That's 7 years, y'all. Damn, it's 7 years. Now, 2020, humans ended up with a what? A plague. And now, you count 2019, not 2020, but 2019. That's when they started to see this thing emerging, okay? It started to emerge, I'd say, in right around October of 2019, because there was a doorman at my job when I was working downtown at one of the law firms, and he was fine, and then all of a sudden they say he was really, really sick, and I remember he was sick, and they said he was in the hospital for pneumonia, and the next thing you know, they told us that our doorman had died, and I was like, what? From a cold? He was just here a couple of days ago. This is when this type of stuff was happening. And then you started hearing more and more people dying of pneumonia. And I'm like, pneumonia killing folks really quick. And then all of a sudden, boom, here we are with COVID. So it had been around for a long time. A lot of people getting sick with colds that had them laid out for about 2 weeks and stuff like that. I was like, this thing had been here for quite some time before it got national news, okay? But the trees let me know the year 2012 to 2013, something was wrong. But that's me, because I'm a nature person. I pay attention to that kind of stuff, okay? But I was not realizing that the Eerkodeshiy, I'm thinking that I'm a nature person, and I watch the trees and I watch nature because I like to look at that because it's scenery. But I had no idea that they were real angels and things like that, okay? A lot of things were happening. You had dead fish showing up. So nature was already giving you a warning saying, let me tell you something, boo. Look at all of these thousands of fishes I'm rolling up on your beaches. I'm trying to let you know. Keep acting a fucking fool and it's going to be a show for real. Okay? No one's listening. No one's paying attention. Then here we come, 2019, 2020. Here we are with a pandemic. The Eerkodeshiy are constantly giving us warnings, constantly. So now they tired of giving us warnings. Now it's full-fledged now. They sick of us. The storms are coming. And this is the thing that you all do not understand. Ariel is doing what she should not be doing right now. We have UV rays hitting in the middle of wintertime that are identical to the levels that they would be in our hottest months of the summer. So if this is happening in the wintertime, what do you think our summers are about to look like? Especially for people who burn like a damn tomato. You understand they get tomato with red and everything all on their bodies being in the sun too long. Even when they do wear, what is that stuff they roll all over them? What is that? Sunscreen. Okay? People do not understand that these are real situations that we're dealing with right now. Do you understand? I don't understand how is it that you are not afraid of what the world is not afraid of what is going to happen in our summer months with the rates of UV light that are coming in. Do you understand? And if it gets any higher than what it is right now for people who do not have melanin in their skin, they're not going to be able to come outside. Now, melanin is great for us. Sunlight, Ariel is great for us. And for some reason, something keeps telling me as soon as the sun comes out, get outside. Stand outside. Get used to her doing this. Get as much sunlight as you possibly can. And the reason why is that after UV goes past 10, then it starts making changes to people's DNA. This is not something I'm making up. This is real science, baby. Okay? Real science. You need to understand these changes are about to come on the world right now. And the Eerkodeshiy are letting you know they're not playing no games. They tired of us. They have reached their limit. Inside the books of remembrance, they telling you. Now you know the end is here. These other folks talking about, we gonna have a war, we gonna win, you know what I'm saying? Everything's gonna go back to normal. We trying to get our festivals back up and running and all this other stuff. They got lots of plans. But I have a real funny feeling with what's happening right now, especially with the moon that we're getting ready to have come up this evening into tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we get ready to have a full moon, and major CMEs are coming off the sun. And y'all know that this is our New Year's. Major CMEs. That means we getting ready to get hit hard with some rays off of Ariel, honey. Okay? That's going to be changing some people's DNA a little bit more. So, you have no idea what's about to happen in our new year. All I know is that in the summertime, we need to really be worried about people's houses just burning up out of nowhere, because if these UV rays get any higher, they'll be just like a magnifying glass on ants. Okay? This is no joke out here. It's no joke with the Eerkodeshiy. And then with the Eerkodeshiy, they foes. Stop being on these as much. I'm going to stop posting as much as well, because it's taking me away from my studies. Okay? They know, the devil knows what he's doing. The more he's intensifying your experience on these computers, okay? He's intensifying it. You got your phone every 5 seconds, somebody texting you, calling you. Oh, it's a funny reel. It's a funny something on Facebook. It's a funny something on Instagram. And they're taking your mind away from what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Which is reading and learning as much as you can about him. These Eerkodeshiy are all around us, okay? Eerkodeshiy's are used to deliver, and quiet is kept, angels like Sariel, our water, okay? They come through them. Do you understand? At some point, once they get tired of us, they're not gonna allow themselves to be used anymore. You understand? We get the barrio coming up off of our stoves. They gonna get to the point that they gonna stop all of that. And how they stop all of that? National disaster. A natural disaster will stop all of that. Okay? They're not gonna allow themselves to be used anymore. This phony light with lights and things like that. We have not been using the Eerkodeshiy as we're supposed to use them. And there are good ways to use Eerkodeshiy, bring it in your house and everything. But we don't. We have now graduated into everything that we have is Eerkodeshiy all day, every way. All day, everywhere. Our sinks, our stoves, our refrigerators, our cars. You understand? Our phones, how we communicate with each other, all kinds of stuff. We don't even go see each other no more. We just on TV. We just on our phones talking to each other now. We talk to our phones. We video chat, so we ain't got to come to your house no more. We don't even see each other, and it ain't got nothing to do with Rona. We don't see each other anymore because we can do this. So we don't even interact with each other on a normal basis. Now dating basically is sitting over a phone and talking to each other, looking at each other over this Eerkodeshiy. Okay? You don't understand just how much they have become a huge part of our lives, and we depend on them. But they are not things that the Most High wants us to depend on. He wants us to depend on Him. And we depend on this. And these things become our gods to a certain degree, because we are always talking to Him about these damn things. Lord, let me have enough money to be able to pay the bill. Lord, let me be able to do this and this and that with the, you understand, with the house. Let me be able to do this and that. I need a new refrigerator. One went out. You understand? I need to be able to shop and get some food and do this and do that. I need a new computer so I can be able to do my job. Do you understand what we praying Him for? We praying to Him for things that are other distractions from Him. It's time for us to really wake up and understand what world we living in, because a lot of us do not understand this whole entire road, baby. But anyway, I don't want to bring you down. I wish everybody a wonderful new year. If you don't see me tomorrow or something like that, I'm going to start posting less and get into my studies and stuff like that. And this weekend is time for me and the Most High, so you probably won't get another video from me for a couple of days. But I wish everyone a wonderful new year, and I wish that your family has an excellent time with Anaki Seed. I'm so happy for him. He gets to see his kids this weekend. So I'll talk to you guys next time, and take care. Bye.